The Redmi 13c or Tecno Spark 20 Pro. Both phones have so much in common as far as specifications go. It might even come down to which is best optimized or which brand you prefer. The same processor, similar rear camera configuration, also similar display specifications. But one of these devices costs more. We're going to find out which is the better value for money. How about we just go straight to the point with this one? Price-wise, the base version of the Redmi 13c starts at 98,100 naira, while the Tecno Spark 20 starts at around 107,900 naira. Now, there's actually a good chance these prices have gone up because of the exchange rate. It's on the move again. Let's start with the box content. You get more accessories with the Spark 20 as it not only comes with a case and earphones, the charging brick in the box is actually 18 watts. The Redmi 13c only comes with just a cable and charging brick, no earphones, no case, and the charging brick you get is 10 watts. Now, both phones actually support 18 watts fast charging, but you'll have to spend extra on a charger if you want to get faster charging out of the Redmi. It will take over 2 hours to charge fully if it is drained, while the Tecno will take significantly less time, that is using the chargers that come in the box. Since we're talking about charging, let's just get battery talks out of the way. Both phones have the same standard 5000 mAh capacity, and all the while I used them, I was quite satisfied with their battery life. I'd say it lasts pretty good. Both devices have flat frames and can stand without supports. They also both use side-mounted fingerprint scanners, which work just fine. The Tecno gets the edge having stereo speakers with DTS audio, while the Redmi gets just a bottom-firing mono speaker. And when you turn to their displays, your preference might shift as the Tecno has a better looking display design with its punch-hole camera. The Redmi 13c uses a U-notch style. Both displays look good with minor difference in terms of quality, but I think the Redmi has just a tiny bit more warmth to the display. In terms of display size, the Spark 20 has a smaller 6.6 inches display, also evident from the fact that it is not as tall as the Redmi 13c, which has a 6.74 inches display. So if you're all for portability, the Tecno is the smaller device. For their resolution, both have 720p displays. They are LCD and with 90Hz screen refresh rate. According to the spec sheet, the Redmi 13c has Gorilla Glass on its display. While I might not do drop or scratch tests to confirm, I can say on the feel to the hands the Redmi 13c actually feels better to touch. But in terms of smoothness at 90Hz, the Tecno is more consistent with animations. I've actually experienced some stutters with the Redmi. On their software, we have them both on Android 13 and their respective UIs. Both come with some pre-installed bloatware applications, also both will serve you ads. Now in my experience, you have more control over the ads on Tecno's iOS as they are mostly from the pre-installed applications, and you can just uninstall, disable or block notification access. On the Redmi, however, you might need to go all the way to the DNS settings to prevent ads, cause you could be served ads just after installing an app or even just changing your wallpaper. It is totally random, especially when carrying out some system functions. Also, while they are both on the latest versions of their respective custom UIs, the Spark 20 has more complete version of iOS, and you can expect most of the same features as the higher Tecno phones, including multi-user, split-screen multitasking, etc. The Redmi 13c lacks features like split screen or pop-up multitasking and no second space, regardless of which RAM version you get. The Spark 20 also has a better Material U integration with themed icons. You don't get that on MIUI. Both these devices have a base version of 4 gigs of RAM, but you can go as high as 8 gigs, and I recommend going for at least the 6 gig version. Reason being that the Helio G85 powering this tool, while good enough for the price, is a budget processor. You don't want to be lacking in the RAM category. The 4 gig versions can get stuttery when you start using them for a while, especially the Redmi. Now in terms of software support, you will get regular security patches, but you are more likely to get at least one major OS upgrade with the Redmi 13c. Although keep your expectations low and don't even expect it very soon, not even in a year. As for the Tecno Spark 20, nothing is guaranteed. Performance wise, as I've already hinted, both phones do great as long as you understand that they are budget phones and you keep your expectations at a budget level. And don't forget to go for at least the 6 gig versions. The Helio G85 is a capable processor for this price point, and it will handle most of the functions you expect of a budget device. You'll get better multitasking on the Spark 20 though. On gaming, they both offer similar performance thanks to the same processor. They will game fine at the recommended low graphics settings. Occasional lags should be expected. With Asphalt 9 though, the Tecno handled it better. I noticed lags with the Redmi 13c. In terms of heat management, both do fine, but I found the Tecnos run a bit cooler than the Redmi. Battery life on both devices are great. They have the same 5000 mAh battery capacity, and as I've mentioned before, the Spark 20 gets faster 18 watts charging if we are going by what comes in the box. In the camera department, while they both look like they have triple rear cameras, there's really only one proper rear camera, and that is the 50 megapixel main camera. The Redmi has a 2 megapixel macro camera, but who uses those? It probably still counts anyway. On the selfie camera, the Spark 20 is equipped with 32 megapixels, while the Redmi 13c gets 8 megapixels. Here are the photos compared side by side. They both do great and process colors with slight difference in the toning. Now it might come down to what look you prefer. The Tecno seems to do better with autofocus if you are trying to snap closer subjects. On the selfies, they also process skin tones differently and they do fine with the details. The Tecno offers wider field of view on the selfie camera. On videos, both have the same abilities, shooting at 1080p 30fps with no stabilization. Now, which would you say looks better or offers slightly better in terms of stability?
Okay, YouTube, so we are looking at selfie camera comparison between Redmi 13c and Tecno Spark 20. Both phones capable of shooting at 1080p 30 frames per second. There is no form of stabilization. These are budget phones. That is not expected. HDR is also not expected. Look at those highlights. Which one is handling it better? From the viewfinder, I can see the Spark 20 is showing the roof, which is at the ceiling, but the Redmi is not doing as good of a job. But yeah, when I take to another display, I'll be able to confirm. In terms of skin tones, I think I like what the Redmi looks like from the viewfinder. Again, once I take to an external display, maybe my laptop, I'll be able to tell which has better sharpness, better skin tones, better colors. Does the 32 megapixels on the Spark 20 make much of a difference over the 8 megapixels? Which one does a better job? Also, in terms of sound, do let me know.
Both the Redmi 13c and Tecno Spark 20 are great devices for their price. While the 13c is a bit more affordable and in my opinion it has a better design, the Spark 20 offers just a bit more in terms of accessories in the box, more complete software experience in terms of features, and stereo speakers. Also, while they are not gaming devices, the Spark 20 just handles games a bit better. On their cameras, you already have samples from both to determine which you like best. For budget devices, I can easily recommend these two as they are great for their price. Again, I must stress, try as much as possible to get at least the 6GB version of these two, especially the Redmi 13c. MIUI can be really annoying when it lags. Also, it might interest you to know that Samsung just released the A05s and the A05, which is actually around the same price category as these two. Do let me know in the comments if you want me to compare the A05 to any of these two devices. That's all from me.